there was basically a convention going down here in town, which is fairly rare, so I decided that, hey, I gotta check that shit out. You know, because I'd never actually been to a convention before. Not bothered. And it turns out that a couple of guys are playing a game that I actually have experience playing, so I figured, okay, I'll, you know, pop in there. And the DM is basically decked out from head to toe to be as alternate lifestyle as physically possible. I mean, we are talking mascara, makeup, colored spiked hair, strange stamps and pins on his clothes, and he'd apparently modified a pair of pants to appear as a hakama, the Japanese version of pants, by actually sewing strips of cloth to the outside of the pants.
What?
So he basically had pants with long strips of cloth fluttering around the pants. He also had 3 different chains going in loops around his pants here and there that didn't actually attach or carry anything, they were just there. And just basically, it was the sort of person that you looked at him and you just know that this guy probably studies at, you know, liberal arts. And he did, by the way, he was a liberal arts student. And basically he said that he was going to DM a Swedish role-playing game called Neotech, which is basically Cyberpunk 2020, only it's rebranded in Swedish. And I was familiar with the game and I played it before, so I said, well, yeah, sure, I'll just, you know, pop up a character and I'll bring it in. And while we're playing with anyone else, and yes, apparently there was one other person playing that was actually part of this guy's group since earlier. I figured, okay, so I'm going to be the only newcomer in the group, but that should be workable. So this is set in the close future. I believe it's set in 2051.
Yeah.
So I basically made a former Russian Spetsnaz officer with a specialization in Sambo, which means that basically he's mainly a CQC combatant, and he's a decorated war veteran and various other perks, and I just roll up some of that background shit. And the thing is, at the time, I had an eye that was bothering me a lot, so I actually wore an eye patch in real life. So I basically carried that into the character by making the character have an eye patch, because I figured, what the hell? I know, I am sounding like that guy at this point.
No, I understand.
In any case, and we basically sit down to play, and the DM explains that his friend that he has been playing with, they basically played 15 entire campaigns, or so he claims. Oh. And that guy's character is basically a super upper-class British chap, including a freaking bowler hat, and he fights with an umbrella. And wears a tweed suit everywhere. Has nothing whatsoever to do with the setting in any way, but I'm just thinking, okay, sure, why not? Because, I mean, whatever. And then he checks over my character, and he looks at my skill points, and he says, whoa, there's no way you can have that many skill points in Sambo. And I said, yes, actually I can, according to the rules, and I pointed it out. And then he went, okay, and he was basically suspecting me of cheating in a freaking role-playing one-shot. Come the fuck on, bro. Okay. The only other player has like 15 times my skill points, because he's been investing experience in skills and abilities and traits and equipment over 15 campaigns of yours. I mean, even if I had cheated with everything I could, my character would not even have a quarter of the abilities of the other guy. Come on. Any case, he then basically describes that, yeah, you have been selected for a mission to go and save a tanker ship that has been taken over by terrorists. And I'm like, okay, that's a good one shot. I mean, you know, fly out with a helicopter, airdrop in on that thing, and take care of the terrorists and re-seize the ship. That works. That can be done quick in an hour or two. On the helicopter, we are introduced to the DM's DMPZ.
Oh dear.
Oh god.
The DMPZ in question is basically a 7-year-old girl
Oh,
with
God.
golden blonde locks and a blue dress that he says looks a bit like Alice from Alice in Wonderland, the Disney version. But she's not actually 7 years old, she's actually much older and totally super smart, and he has basically just this 2 or 3 sheets of paper worth of stuff about this character that he's hiding. And I'm basically just like, okay, you know, whatever. As long as this character doesn't obstruct what's going on, I can live this down. I don't care. And we are standing in that helicopter, and the characters are supposed to get to know each other, and that little girl immediately starts antagonizing my character, calling him names, insulting him to his face, and basically being a complete and utter asshole. So I figured that, you know what, I have a Sambo skill that puts my character basically at the top international level of martial arts. So I figured, you know what, I'm just going to wreck this kid a bit, you know, just jostle her around a bit to teach her a lesson. So I roll Sambo and I grab the kid, and the moment I grab the kid, she pulls out a knife and places it immediately above my heart, and the DM says that if I make a single move, she will kill me. Resist the DM PC and you die.
Oh, wow.
And I'm all like, okay, well shit, let's drop that too, I guess. Fuck you. And the other player hasn't said or done anything. He's just basically sitting there with a smile on his face and enjoying the DM just basically ridiculing my character. Both in and out of character, I should mention. And we arrive at the ship, and I basically go, okay, so what's the plan? And he goes, well, you know, I'll just watch what you do and follow your lead. Okay, and we get off the helicopter. There are no sign of the terrorists. We don't see anyone. There's no one anywhere. And we start looking around, and then suddenly the DM goes, well, my character thinks that we should split up. So the DM PC and the British guy disappear.
What?
And they are never brought up again for the rest of this play session, I should mention. So what happens is that basically I'm investing and looking for any sign of the terrorists, and then basically the universe around me starts trolling my character something fierce, because he hears noises, and when he goes to investigate, there's nothing there. And I'm standing at the top of a spiral staircase, and the DMPC says that suddenly someone flings up something up the stairs, and I go basically, okay, that's probably a grenade or something. So I'll, you know, throw myself down the staircase, and hopefully I will be able to catch whoever was throwing the grenade or whatever it is in question with his pants down. And I jump down, and there's no one there.
What?
What?
There's simply no one there. And then the DM laughs and says, haha, well, because you vaulted down the stairs, you have now hurt yourself, haha, haha, because you landed on the stairs, haha, and it hurts. And I'm like, okay, I'll take a few hit points of damage, fine, whatever. And then we go up, and it turns out that the thing that was thrown was not actually a grenade at all, it was just a piece of metal, haha, haha, why did you overreact so much? You should have checked what it was first, haha, haha. And I'm like, who checks if it is a grenade or not before they seek cover? I'm just curious, but okay, sure. Let's keep going. And there's still no sign of the terrorists whatsoever, and my character just keeps exploring all over the place, and then he finds a door, and he opens the door, and behind that door is like 7 terrorists.
Oh.
And they all have AK-47s, and they get the drop on me because as he said, you did not state that you carefully or stealthily opened the door. So my character basically just bangs up the door and goes, ho! And the terrorists open fire.
I don't know why, but I feel like that was kinda unfair.
Not at all, not at all.
Jesus.
I should have specifically stated on every of the like dozen doors I've opened in that fucking play session that I opened it very carefully, you see. Right. Arrivederci, Charlotte. You served as well, but you are now completely useless. So, in any case, a gunfight erupts, and apparently the terrorists also have Molotov cocktails, and there are open barrels of oil, and the oil catches on fire somehow, despite my protest when I note to the DM that, you know, crude oil does not actually catch fire. Similar to how gasoline actually does not catch fire. Anyway, things are going to hell in a handbasket, and I notice that the more involved the combat gets, and the more things I try, the more the DM takes over. So basically I say I try a dodge roll over there, and he goes, yeah, you dodge roll and you fire with both of the AKs you picked up at the same time, but oh no, you catch on fire, and he doesn't roll for anything, he just narrates 5 or 6 steps beyond of what I said that I actually did. And at this point I realize I'm not even playing my own character anymore. I'm basically just giving general suggestions. And all kinds of shit go down around me.
That's pretty shitty.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Why can I no longer access box 1?
What? Try quitting and restarting the game?
Here I did not get up and punch the DM, because he was basically a teenage kid, and it was in a public venue, so I would probably not have gotten away with that. In any case, as this is all going on, and my character's basically being made a mockery of without me having a chance to do anything, the British character's player is just sitting there, and he started giggling to himself, more or less. And then it just ends with my character dying. And that's the end of the session. They don't continue or pick it up or anything, and the DM basically says, well, that was a good session, and then he starts just packing his stuff together and he gets up and leaves.
Wow.
And apparently, yes, the first box has disappeared.
Oh, great!
The first what disappeared?
The first box in the stable.
That means...
That means, instead of the 7 boxes Arthur is supposed to have, and he needs, he has 6 boxes.
Oh.
What the ever flip-flap flying fuck?
So, how do we get that box back?
I have no idea.
I try at least quitting and going back to the main menu.
The most
or
amazing
something.
thing is that it doesn't even show up. It goes
Yeah.
straight from 7 to 2, which means it's just gone.
I guess this is just part of the secret.
Yeah, I mean, but how does this even work? It's the starting box. It's always supposed to be there. It's the one box you can't get rid of.
Wow.
Alright, time to save in a separate save. Now it should be mentioned that I do have the save that we started with, because I made an extra save when we stopped last time, because I know that this is supposed... You know, this is the sort of shit I was almost expecting. So we can lose roughly 2 hours of progress and go back. In the worst case scenario. Right. Let's load our game and see if we get our box back.
Well, the real question is, if we have lost everything, would we have restarted or would we have just stopped? Because... I don't know. If it meant that we didn't have to play this game anymore, then we would have won.
And the box is not returning, actually.
Great.
So selling the horse actually somehow magically got rid of the box itself.
Ah.
Huh. Huh.
Why?
Huh. Well, there you go.
Fuck this game. Like, is it seriously unwinnable now because of that?
It's not unwinnable, actually. But it's going to take longer.
Longer than 2 hours?
I I think I might be done.
I think so.
I think I'm not going to do this anymore. This just broken me.
Future friend, you can't do it.
No.
Don't leave me alone!
No, fuck it. Arthur, you can get somebody else. I'm out. I'm done. Fuck this.
Well, have a good night.
Alright, good night.
Folks. Sorry for this, but I'm not going to do this anymore. See you around.
Bye.
Right, so basically what we're going to have to do is sell another horse in order to have the room to actually put the other horses together. And we'll see what happens now if the bug actually repeats. Because if it does, then the game is fucked. Okay, now box number 2 disappeared, but box number 1 is now free.
What? Like...
Apparently now what has happened is that the script that frees up the box is firing out of order, because it's normally supposed to fire when you sell the horse. But now it's only firing at the start of a sale, which means that we have to sell a horse in order for the previously sold horse's box to turn up. And it simply removes the box that the horse was sold from.
Alright, so in order to get the box back, we have to basically get rid of another box until we do that again.
Yes,
meaning that we will always have one less box that we actually have.
Yep, we just need to run down the line, basically.
That is... Wow, what the hell? That's really shitty.
And box 2 is permanently gone now until we get another one in there. That is actually sort of impressive.
This wouldn't have happened if we had shelled out for the horse armor DLC.
Wow.
Yeah, Alistair is asking the good question. Why are we putting up with this bullshit?
I'm not. But I have to force my way through it anyway. The only explanation I can find is that we're actually only supposed to have 6 in the first place maximum, which would make sense, because you start with 1 spot in the box and you upgrade it 5 times, so you would have 6 maximum. But somehow it has actually given us 7, despite the fact that this is not supposed to be possible. So every time we are selling a horse now, it is desperately trying to bring the number down to what it's supposed to be, 6.
Alright, so basically the game fucked up now, and in trying to recover itself, it just screws up even more.
I have no idea.
Yeah. This is a weird bug.
You don't say.
Yeah, I know, it's kinda surprising, but...
Right, at least now we have a level 4. Which means that now we can start cleaning out. Here's the level 2 that we're keeping. Very good. There's Nonto, the first level 3 we're getting rid of. I must say, this is really a very, very special game.
You don't say. Like, this kind of...
Still, this is one of the most amazing bugs I have ever seen in a game. I mean... I'm not a brilliant programmer by any means, but I mean, if I'm going to make an event handler of any sort, a function that does this, I would at least put a fucking check in at the start to make sure that, you know, everything was in order before sending the order through.
Yeah, you would think they would have thought about that, but they also thought that it would be a fine game mechanic to keep grinding the same damn horse for hours straight.
Oh well. In any case, we should still be set up in that regard. Because now we need to get a level 2 horse, and then we should level that up, breed that, and then we have the necessary level 3s. And once we have those, we can breed a second level 4, which puts us in a position where we don't need to give a fuck anymore.
Because then we can breed the level 5 and then...
Yep. Brain Amp, we haven't got a single level 5 yet, but we are getting one. Now let's see, now we have 1 through 6 and we have 2 empty. Right. Right! Everything is finally in order. So let's get training.
Looks like Refsar is using Map Crunch. Playing a bit of it right now.
Hooray!
I've actually tried it out and it turns out that Google Street View hasn't done most of Germany yet, which kinda sucked.
Yeah, it's actually sort of strange just what's, you know, cities have gotten the Street View car pass through and which ones haven't. There's some places that you think would be almost guaranteed because of their urban environments, and then there's... but you don't, and then you get like... we had the other day, and it just basically turns out that a random no-name town in Illinois all of a sudden has the entire city.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what sort of sense there is to it.
Probably pretty much just, hey, what kind of town do you want to see today? I don't know, I wasn't in Illinois, let's drive there and do some shit, I guess. Alright. Probably something like that. Like, I have no idea how they decided stuff. I just wish there was more to see in Germany than just the main cities.
Right. Well, since Future Friend is gone, should we bring in someone else, perhaps? Ho ho ho. Buddy Gripple apparently volunteered earlier, but I don't know. Now that he's seen what we're actually playing, maybe he's changed his mind.
I don't know, is anybody able to withstand the horse?
Your assistance only makes his horse stronger.
You can try, but are you able to do it against the horse, Panther Juret?
Let's see, do I have Panther Juret on Skype? I think I do. I think I diddly do, somewhere. And yes, as Skeleton Age brings up, we're all insane here. Completely stark, raving mad!
Yeah, I can see that. Makes sense.
Right, so, should I bring in Buddy Gripple and see if I can bring in Panther Juret as well?
Let's get some more people in.
Yeah. More feed for the horses.
Because God knows I won't be able to withstand these horses for any longer, alone.
Right. Let's see. Hopefully Panther Juret has actually plugged in microphone and so on, so that she can actually join us.
This game has too much horsepower for me.
Too much power. Horse power. Let's see, let's just run down the lists. Let's see, she's not currently online, so we'll just add Buddy Gripple. Skype, why? Get out of here. Highest. I have no idea what actually happened to the Skype call now.
Well, wait. There we go.
I have no idea what actually happened.
Oh, hey, I can hear myself.
Okay.
Mute that stream, asshole.
Yeah, I got it.
Hello.
The fruit. Too early.
So,
So fruit,
horses.
that's something to eat.
This is indeed horses, Buttergribble.
The horse game.
Yes, this is the horse game. It is a game about horses, but it has no other content.
It's just horses all the way down.
Yeah. Yes, Puck. Let's play uninstall.exe. A 1-episode LP of Secrets of the Magic Crystal. But yeah, this is a
That can
Steam.
actually be quite
This is a
try to
Steam
hide it
game.
nowadays.
This is a Steam game, so it doesn't actually have an uninstall. Just delete it from the list. Hooray!
Yes.
Let's see. Panteuret
was-
is on. So once I finish this training section, I'll bring her on.
Just ask Steam to get it rid of your list.
Just mail game and say, could you please permanently remove this game from my account?
He just looks at it and is
When I
like,
wanted to uninstall the Sims 3 after I installed it wrong, it took me about a good half hour to find the uninstall program because it's nowhere to be found in the start menu. It's nowhere to be found in the launcher, and you actually have to go into your, program files within the C drive to find it. They're crafty.
Hell yeah, EA products. Man.
are there any good games EA made?
Well, they used to make
Sims 3.
shitloads of good games. I mean, they published some of the best games ever. The problem is that the new EA
Got
is...
to their heads.
Yeah. Pride doth come before the fall. Right, let's see if we can bring in Panteuret, aka Pow, which is probably what I'm going to call her. So that is a lot quicker and easier to
Hello.
say. Hello!
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
Let's see.
do you know a lot about horses?
I'll
That's
message you
answers
when
it.
I'm
So
done,
does
Puck.
this work?
How does this work? Well, it doesn't, really.
Oh dear. That sounds very interesting.
Well, basically it's like this, see? You take a horse and then you put it on the ground and then the horse runs forward and it jumps over stuff, and once it's done that enough, it reaches its maximum genetic potential. And then you take one hair from that horse and one hair from another maxed out horse and you put them together in the straw. And then a foal magically appears.
Oh dear. I think it looks a bit like
So that's how it
Stepmania or
works. I
Dance
was
Dance
wondering.
Revolution, but with horses.
I see.
It's basically the slowest and most useless Stepmania game with only one song, and it has an animated horse to help you keep track of the tempo.
Oh dear. This game is
Oh, horse.
amazing.
Much like my horse. Right.
The most obnoxious way to spell Caitlyn in the universe.
Pretty much. Kate Lynn is not how you spell that name, seriously. That is not okay. And yes, as Braina mentions, it is basically like the worst Monster Rancher thing ever, this game. It's a...
You
If
can't even
someone-
put in
yeah.
CD to make monsters out of it.
Yeah, I know, right? Man, that would be great if you could put in CDs or MD5 hash codes or something and it actually made horses from that.
That would be cool.
So you could have a really fat horse with tiny legs. Or a
Or-
really,
or
really,
at
really
least,
tall giraffe horse. That would be great.
Or at least mixed up the colors a bit.
Yeah, any sort of variation in the skins, please. For the love of God.
The death horse with the flaming mane, that would be rather pretty.